StreamYard's like screwing up lately. I hate it. But we're live now. Sorry for my channel if it didn't give you a notification, but we're there. Tell me what's your panic level, chat. Yeah, that's why I started out as a 4 on the season, and it was just because of all the changeover. I really wasn't scared. But after seeing the way our O-line play, I bumped it up 2 to 6. I'm at a 6, which is a D grade. It's not a C. Our schedule is brutal, but the home schedule is actually quite favorable, and we play more home games than away. Or no, I mean, excuse me, we play more away games, but the 5 of them are brutal. I don't care what anybody says. We got 5 brutal games on the road. And we cannot do that prevent defense like Chicago did versus JJ in the fourth quarter. You can't do that against a guy like him. He has a clutch gene where he carves up zone. And I saw that they played mostly zone in that fourth quarter. But it was that prevent zone where they're barely doing a pass rush up front. And they weren't able to get the penetration because their tackles are decent. So, and their guard interior play looked better than last year. So there's something to be said there with the Vikings. Somebody said it was an NFL record first quarterback and score like that in the fourth quarter. They forgot about Cam Newton. Yep, that's where I'm at. I agree. When the schedule come out, and here's the funny thing: when you go by the win percentage of the scheduled on the schedule, and it equals that 579, whatever it was. Everybody forgets that we were 11th last year with the 572. So it went up by 0.004%, and people are freaking out. And I don't get it because last year we had almost the same win percentage against us for the people coming out from the year before. And some of those teams are going to do worse. Some of them are going to do better. If anybody's scared of the Dolphins right now, raise your hand, because after what I saw them put up against the Colts, I'm not. That has to be the worst team in the league. I forgot they scored 7 points. I thought, or 8 points. I thought they got shut out, but they did get a touchdown in garbage time. So I got 2 people to comment. What about you, Motown Mitch? What's your panic level? I know Friday I'll have B on here as usual. We'll be pre-gaming the Chicago game because he can't make it to the Lions fan cave chat. Bandit, good to see you, brother. Joey Uso, what's up, brother? Got to do it for him. He's here. This for you, Joey.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
There you go, Joey. That's our resident Philly fan. Woo! I bet you're sore as fuck. I appreciate you, brother. I just been busier than a mad hatter. I've been on so many shows, I feel like a podcast whore. I'm pimping myself out daily. Got my fantasy show come Saturday with Austin Hacker. Ooh, I know that was probably by choice. So what? You're doing a leave in Tylenol and that's it, or Motrin? Ouch. And he says, yeah. Let's see. Monday through Friday, I do 9, and I do my 10th show on Saturday night. So I'm doing 9 shows now. Two of them I'm a guest on. Uh, I was thinking maybe because Kingsley Eguakun this preseason faced a couple of starting defensive lines, maybe let him start over Glasgow because Tate Ratledge looked like he understood the call of the protections better with Kingsley than he did with Graham this past week. I would actually consider sitting Graham a week as a punishment, saying, "Hey, remember how we said no turds here? Quit being a turd." Because Kingsley Eguakun looked pretty good against that Texans defense that had a couple starters out there. He also looked good against the Miami team that put a couple starters out there. Couldn't tell Miami played starters in week 1. They looked awful. Chargers looked pretty good for putting their starters out there. Atlanta, they tried. No, don't move him back to guard. Make him sit a week because the center is the one that calls out the protections. And if your young guards don't look like they have any direction and know where to play, guess whose fault it is? It's the center. He was the center. Oh, they're not my sleeper in the AFC. I had them making it. Only thing I'm worried about is the Rashawn Slater thing, but it looked like they did a good thing moving Joe Alt to left tackle. But as bookends, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, that team would be even more unstoppable. The backup right tackle did a phenomenal job. The team I have not making it, and they didn't show like they want to win, was the one that played in week 1, the Chiefs. They don't look the same. Pacheco still runs okay. Travis Kelce and Mahomes had somewhat of a connection, but he still had more drops than receptions. Nope, it sure didn't. And I was surprised that the Raiders beat the Patriots. Now the Patriots get to go on the road. They're getting to the point where the money is hampering them from keeping the team at that high level. Yeah, how did that happen? It messed up my parlay. Oh, excuse me. I think it's a fine signing. You're talking about 83 million over 3 years tacked on to the end. They didn't touch his 5th-year money, so the 5th-year money is still only 15 million. It averages out if not looking at incentives. He's actually only making 23 something a year because a lot of it's incentives and everything. Me too. I thought they'd have it locked, stock, and barrel, but Hey, don't say it was because of Ashton Genty because he may have had 2 touchdowns, but he only had 38 yards rushing. He was not very dominant in that game. Overall, they got out coached. That's what I saw. Pete Carroll beat out Grable, but guess what? Pete Carroll's done that before. Seahawks versus Titans in the regular season. He's beaten Grable 3 times now, coach to coach. And now it's with a different team, with a lesser roster, because I'm sorry, I think the Raiders have a lesser roster than what the Patriots have. Patriots may have a lesser defensive roster, but offensively they should be better. We need to sign Branch, Gibbs, Laporta. Gibbs will get the 5th-year option so they can wait a year on it or work on it in season. I have no doubt about that. He'll be here till 2028, no matter what. Everybody's coming back. The cap goes up every year. I ain't scared of it. They'll restructure Goff and clear up even more money. That's why they're not doing a big splash right now. And I told everybody this. They're doing this to be able to sign their core players back. Then once they have everybody signed through like 2030, then you're going to see them make the splash move. It'll be after the 2028 season is where you'll see splash moves done. That's my prediction. We're going to see Goff get restructured this year. You watch. That'll clear the money up for next year because there's no way they're going to let him make $69 million for 1 year. Yeah, if Watson got extended, who's missed more time than JMO technically, and had way more drops, I think Morton will be fine. I don't think the play calling was the problem. It's our offensive line. Yeah, I don't care if we had fucking God calling the plays. We wouldn't have ran the ball the way that offensive line played Sunday. Everybody's so quick to blame the coaching, but the line coach didn't change, so the play calling protections don't change. I don't understand why everybody's trying to blame the coordinator for piss poor offensive line play by Graham Glasgow specifically. Graham Glasgow moving out of the center on that goal line when Goff almost got sacked by a safety was the reason. I was done with him mentally at that point. Yeah, you know why? He played most of the first year except when he was hurt. Easy to have more. That's right. That is absolutely right. It starts with the players. All the coach can do is call the plays. If they're not executed properly, it makes a coordinator look like shit. How many times have we seen a coordinator on a shit roster have players not execute? Go to a team that has good players and look like the second coming of touchdown Jesus as a coordinator. Oh, it happened right here in 2021 when we first promoted Ben Johnson in week 10. Oh, well, trust me, 100%. I've been saying that Tesla needs to play more. I've been saying I evidently haven't been paying attention because all week I said I am fine with our coordinators. The players got to perform. If you don't perform, you're not going to get results. It's the players on the field that makes the plays. All they can do is call what's there. And as they kept failing at the good plays they normally run in 12 man and an 11-man formation. I just we didn't stop running the ball. They just couldn't run. Think about it. We ran the ball 19 times for 44 yards. It was awful. 2.2 yards a carry. We've never seen that. Even back in 2021 when we had Swift. JB, a long time. If anything, coaching is what'll get us a few wins. I just don't see this O line getting fixed quick enough to win a lot this year. Hey, you know what? I think it can be fixed soon, but you got to send messages to the guy that's calling the plays and the protections out, and that's Graham Glasgow. Something has to change right there. Either move Tate Ratledge to center or let Kingsley Eguakun start. One of those two things have to happen because Graham Glasgow is not it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At least for a game, send a message. As a right guard 2 years ago, and I'm not 2 years ago when he played right guard all season. Graham Glasgow was good. We moved him to left guard. He found a home there at right guard. He only had to move to center every now and again. In that year, it was bad because one of the games where he played center was against the Ravens. Phil T, how you doing, brother? After that loss to the Raiders, I know how I'm doing. I'm not trying to overreact. I'm not trying to say the season is over. I'm not trying to throw anything under the bus. I don't think the play calling was as bad as people are making it out to be. I think the execution on the field was absolutely atrocious. I thought you guys were going to win. On paper, you guys looked like you had the better roster. That's pretty much the Lions' news and thing. I don't think the coaching was bad. I think the players on the field sucked. That's exactly what I'm going to say. We couldn't get open. They ran mostly zone, and they did very good at it. I think they were more prepared than the Lions were. I think our O line was absolutely atrocious, which made the running game non-existent, which forced Goff to throw a bunch of checkdowns. Because even Tony Romo was talking about how he didn't have time in the top pocket until the fourth quarter when they went to a prevent defense. But at the same time, once we got in the red zone, they changed the way they were play calling. They weren't in that dime and that prevent defense anymore. And it was a tighter zone coverage, cover 3 and cover 4, I believe it was. And there was two guys in the area when Goff lobbed that ball to where only Tesla could catch it. And Tesla did that OBJ style catch. I think with the way that O line played, because we still have the same O line coach, the protections are still the same. It would have been the same thing with Ben Johnson calling plays. So I disagree. I'm looking at the bigger picture than just, oh my God, the coordinator had to call this play because the O line sucked. Ben Johnson would have had to do the same thing. That O line played atrocious. Atrocious. They played starters in the preseason. They were more prepared. I said this. If you'd have watched the show Monday, you'd have thought. I've been talking about that for 2 days. I'm done. I'm trying to move on what we can do this week. Dan Campbell does the ass chewing. I don't know if you watch, but he was doing it all day. Oh, we're up against Chicago, and you'll see that tonight on the NFL Roundtable Talks at 9 p.m. or 9:30 is when we're going live. Yeah, I think you'll beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins are absolute dog shit right now. Everybody did, but you know what they did? They went to a prevent defense, and fourth quarter clutch Michigan JJ McCarthy showed up, who threw for 2 touchdowns and ran one in. 143 total yards in one quarter. That being said, it's about time for me to get off here and get ready for tonight's show and to go to work because I got to make a living. I got to be able to afford to eat, do all sorts of good stuff. So try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. And this week, 100%, it is Fuck the Bears.